This is Alfonso Todd with the GSS, the Grown, Sexy, and Sober, and 5 Minutes of Flavor. Today we have a special guest. She's going to be talking to us about the trial by fire. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. I'm hoping that you all definitely listen up because we have some important information for you. How you doing today?
Fine. Hi, my name is MB, and I'm here to talk about trial by fire, the Shawshank Redemption story.
All right, that sounds good. Okay. Now, I know that you have a lot of important things to say, so let's just go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself as far as, what exactly is this trial by fire that you're speaking of?
Okay. My trial by fire is I have a son that's in prison, and it seemed like the system is just closing every door it can on him. Now, the thing about it, my son has a mental health issue, but it seemed like no one is taking his mental illness to play, because with mental illness, to do certain crimes, you're under a thing that they call action. If a person has a mental illness, they commit a crime different from a person that doesn't have a mental illness. It's because half of the time it's not premeditated. My son, from he was little, he was diagnosed with attention deficit, ODD, that's oppositional defiance. Then they told me by the time he was 15, he was going to be considered, what they call that, when a person, I want to give you the exact definition.
Okay.
Sociopathic tendency.
Really?
Back then, when they told me that, I didn't take sociopathic tendency too lightly.
Right.
Because you think of mass murderers, killers, rapists, but see, the thing why they diagnosed him with sociopathic tendency is because he does a lot of spontaneous things, but he also had emotions. Like, I was the only female that he felt that he can trust, was the only female that he felt remorse to. So they said tendencies, because a true sociopathic person don't have that remorse. My son does have remorse, but the only thing about it is, as a mother, I was dead strong against medication. I thought a mother's love can
conquer all.
Can conquer all.
That would be the only.
However, little did I know that my trial by fire would really take a play when I entered good old Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. That's when I realized that the mayor was the post office man. He was also the cop. It was so small. We're from a big metropolis, New York. So as a mother, I'm not going to say that my son wasn't doing anything. It's just that he just have not been caught, or nothing was brought to my attention. He's been in and out of special education. I must say, education-wise, no one could top him. He has gotten the Daily News Award for art. He has gotten an award for math. He's gotten an award for reading. So he loved school. He would cry if I didn't send him to school. He loved school so much that he got attendance awards. Even when he went to Deer Off, he loved school. He graduated, even though everybody told me that this child was not going to graduate, but he graduated 3 years ago. To everybody's surprise, this, as they call it, this demon seed, he graduated. And that's my trial by fire, because as a mother, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going through a son that's caught between a system of criminology and a system of mental health. Only if both systems could merge together and work with one another, because when I'm a mental health worker, but when I go into the court, I cannot represent my son like how I would represent another client. Why? Because they say it's personal. And it is true. As a mother, you want to go up there and say, listen, judge, let me tell you about attention deficit. Let me tell you about a kid that don't take medication. Let me tell you about the prison system. They don't want to hear that. All they want to hear is, you did this crime, you must be punished. No one is saying, okay, let's do a background check of this kid. Why is he acting this way? Why is it he gets out of prison and he's back in there? No one checked his mental record. He was diagnosed October of 2008 by LCP.
Okay.
And why? because a judge from Northampton County heard my plea as a mother and made a phone call to the Lehigh County court system and asked a favor if my son can be SPOR. I told him SPOR. He didn't know what SPOR was. So he took the time and called in a favor. I cannot name the judge, and I cannot name the people that spoke on my behalf. But, Judge, if you're listening, thank you. And my son was evaluated, and they found out that my son have a mental health issue. And it's severe. It's to the point now he's on different medication, but who is to say that he's getting his medication regularly? If they get upset at him, who is to say if your meds didn't come in? Because in the prison system, they need checks and balance. They have checks, but there's no balance. My son is not I would say an altar boy, but he's not Satan either. He needs the proper help that is required by the mental health laws, and he's not getting it. The prison system does not deal well with mental illness. The police is not being educated about mental illness. The judges is not being educated about mental illness. The COs is not dealing properly with mental illness. And there was a study about after a while working in the prison, you become to take on the mental status of the prisoners. Because both of them is either I'm going in, you going to get me, I'm going to get you. And it was a study that was done 3 years ago about, they took some COs. Some of them was had to play the COs and some had to play the inmates. It got to the point where you couldn't tell who after a while was playing the inmate and who was playing the CO. Someone told me about the study, and I went and I looked it up, and it's a shame. Mental capacity. Today I could be sitting down and being a caseworker, a loving wife, a mother of 5, and something happened. Boom! And all of a sudden, my mental status is not there. We need background checks. We need lawyers and judges and everybody to say, okay, let's see why this individual is doing this. What can we do? Is the court system is the best system for that person, or is it the court system / some kind of mental health prevention? The thing about it, we don't have enough preventive methods. What's going to happen is a lot of mental health, they slip under the cracks.
Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying happened with your son?
Not only with my son, but with a lot of people.
How many would you say, what do you think is the percentage that makes up the prison system when it comes to
mental illness? According to what I have read, 90%.
Really?
90%.
Or mental?
Or mental illness that's undiagnosed until something really bad happened, and then that's when they said, okay, let's give them this med. Let's give them this med. 90% of prison has mental health issues.
Now, would you say that, why is it that, okay, they diagnose them with mental illness, why do they keep them in there? They give them the med, okay, I'm feeling better. Why wouldn't they say, okay, we understand it was a mental issue that caused you to do that or whatever. Why wouldn't they just release them then? You're on your meds, you're sedated, you can be an active member of society. Why is it still, you have to pay your debt to society now, or? Both,
and 2, there's no really real follow-up. Because when we let you out, what are you letting me out to? If I'm just say MV is a prostitute. I have not ever done that. I mean, sometimes the pole look a little interesting, but I have not ever done that. But if I'm a prostitute, I have no education. I have no, let's say, I really have nothing going for me. And prostitution is all I know. Okay, I did a trick with a cop. And they was an undercover cop, and I'm serving 6 months. What are they teaching me in prison that's going to help me not to be drawn to prostitution? Are they giving me any training to say to respect my body? Are they giving me any training to say, well, you know what, I know this program, and it's for ex-prostitutes, and this is like a halfway house, and it's recovering prostitutes that have made it in society, and they're giving back, and they want to say, here, this is what you should do now. Instead of prostitution, here's a way out.